Yo. What's up, my wrestling fans? It's your boy E here with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing wrestling show where I know all your wrestling factoids. I know what you're going to say to me before you're even thinking. I'm just kidding. No, definitely not what's going on right now. I'm not a mind reader. Definitely wish I was. I think I'd be way more further in life. Imagine I'd be president. I would be president. Or perhaps I can win the lottery. Like, imagine if I can read, I'm just kidding. No, let's move on. Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you guys lined up. Today, we have our Monday Night Raw review. We have our WWE NXT preview. And we're going to move on to my ultimate King of the Ring. We're going to look back in history to find out from 2014, we're going to go back on the 16 last winners of the WWE King of the Ring, kind of come up with who's the best. So for segment 3, we're going to start with bracket 1, and for segment 4, we're going to move on to bracket 2. It's that huge, guys. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. We're going to find out who has been, without a doubt, the best King of the Ring representative in terms of the WWE, in terms of professional wrestling. This wrestler who wins this tournament basically made his name from the King of the Ring. It basically kind of propelled him to like newer heights. So we're going to find out, who is in fact the ultimate, historically King of the Ring in his, illustrious career. So this is going to be pretty dope. And we're going to end it all off. Today's Tuesday. Tuesday, we have our Tuesday night wrestling, the Tuesday night, what is it? Oh my God. I'm going to pop it up. What is it? Bum, ba-da-da. Or Tuesdays today in wrestling history. I'm basically going to give you guys some things that happened today on May 14th. And we're just going to go ahead and dig right on into that. So, before we get moved on and before we move on to any other, any more wrestling factoids or anything like that, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link. We get a number of questions from viewers like you that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you guys to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net and just give me your questions. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you think, who you think the best King of the Ring competitor is. Tell me what you think about Monday Night Raw. Tell me about, WWE NXT when we go over it. Definitely love a lot of audience engagement. Obviously, that's what wrestling and sports is all about. A little bit of sports banter does the body good. So don't be afraid to hit that tips and donations link. Again, it really does help the show, guys. Of course, if you got to hit some criticism, feedback is a gift. Feedback is a gift. I take criticism pretty well, unless you're going to criticize me like Chad Gable criticizes the Alpha Academy. Because if that happens, I don't think I can take it. I'm just kidding. But like I said before, we love peace, love, and positivity here at the GSMC Sports Network. There's already too much bullspit in the world, too much negativity. It's time to lift thy neighbor up with a little bit of compliments here and there. Like, you know what I mean? You don't want to be a discourager. You want to be an encourager. So definitely something to. But, let's go ahead and move on with this wrestling podcast here. So, again, the link is the GSMC, podcast.net. So, let's go ahead and move on to our first segment. We're going to talk about our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. It was a pretty good one. Review was a pretty good one. Can't lie. Drew McIntyre started out. He came out guns blazing. Absolutely guns blazing. Seems like he's just like a disgruntled old grunt at this moment. Like he comes out. He's blaming CM Punk for a lot of his problems and stuff like that. Of course, that's all part of the promotion, and I get it. And I kind of liked how Damien Priest came out. I kind of like that. I kind of like how, Drew McIntyre was like, "Hey, CM Punk is not here. Last week I left, and then all of a sudden he comes in. Actually, Drew McIntyre left in a pretty badass car. So it's not too bad to be Drew McIntyre right now. But CM Punk left. He wasn't here, and he said fans of CM Punk are just stupid, and it was just it was just silly. It was just silly, kind of like that high school drama that just keeps building up and building up and building up. It's getting to the point where, like I know you're trying to build these guys up for a wrestling match, but sometimes I think it's too much, and I think that's the reason why Damien Priest came out and kind of asserted himself into the storyline, giving Drew McIntyre a shot at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship as soon as he's cleared by WWE medical staff. So that's absolutely something to look forward to. Damien Priest came out, and I gotta be honest, he looked a little, at odds with himself. Obviously, he has things going on with the Judgment Day right now, and of course, he's going to want to focus on his main objective is to stay the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And then I kind of liked it how Drew McIntyre was like, "Hey, if you guys think this guy's a fake champion, say what?" And everyone was like, "What?" And he was like, "Ah." Like I thought, yeah, that was funny. That was funny. But then after that, you could tell that it totally shook up Damien Priest. Totally, like it was kind of like that, that broke. I think Drew McIntyre broke Damien Priest. He broke Damien Priest broke character on WWE Raw live. So I thought that was pretty funny. So like I said, Drew McIntyre is tired of getting no. Damien Priest is tired of getting known as this dime store champion. He's tired of Drew McIntyre running his mouth saying that he's just a bridge champion. He's tired of Drew McIntyre saying that his win was in fact a fluke. And then he went on going saying that, "Hey Drew, like honestly, you're the one who told me to cash in on you. You were the one who said you pray that I cash in on you. You pray that I don't cash in on Seth." And perhaps maybe Drew McIntyre got more than he could chew in terms of that point. So we have a match set in the future. We have Drew McIntyre against the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Damien Priest. Should be pretty interesting. Those two guys are absolutely dominant. Those two guys are like heavyweights. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Definitely one of the best matches. I don't know if it's going to happen in Saudi Arabia because they didn't really specify that. It might be like one of those like unspoken things, but in terms of the World Heavyweight Championship, I'm for it. I'm for it. I think it's going to be a good match. Definitely going to be a good match. Next, we have the Io Sky against Shayna Baszler in the match. Shayna Baszler came out immediately, started attacking Io Sky. I kind of felt bad for Sky at most, but I was like, the moment whenever, I don't know, it's just an unwritten rule in WWE that whoever gets attacked before the bell rings, 9 times out of 10, or maybe 8 times out of 10, they end up winning the match. So we kind of foreshadowed the moment that happened. I was like, okay, so Io Sky's winning this match. And lo and behold, Io Sky, she was able to win the match. So yeah. Next, we have more about Alpha Academy. Chad Gable was just absolutely like, he was just savage. Absolutely savage toward the Alpha Academy. Otis, Akira Tozawa, and poor Maxine Dupree, who recently failed, against Shayna Baszler, who ended up getting eliminated tonight from Io Sky. But it was just so sad. It was just so sad. I don't know. It was pretty crazy. You're going to see that implode pretty quickly, and moves on further than what happened that one night. So stay tuned. Next we have Lillian Garcia. Lillian Garcia came out, made her return back to the WWE. A lot of people I've seen a lot of things on Twitter/X, Instagram, Facebook that Lillian Garcia is coming back. Yeah, maybe she'll come back and announce here and there. But right now you kind of have Samantha Irving kind of she's great. She's really great. She's definitely one of the best WWE announcers of all time. I saw a post on Instagram that was like, she's way better than Howard Finkel. And I was like, no, that's not true. I don't think that's true. Not yet, at least. And there was that announcer from SmackDown for the longest time. I don't know his name. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to tell you guys, and we'll talk about it. But Samantha Irving, she's doing great. There's really no need for Lillian Garcia to come back. It's kind of more or less like that, like kind of like a nostalgia feeling. It's kind of nostalgia feeling, honestly, like growing up during the Attitude Era, the ruthless aggression era. I saw a lot of Lillian Garcia. Definitely, I honestly think that she's, definitely would have been, wrestling fans' secret crush back in the day. I'm just kidding. No, no. No, she looks good though for her age. Absolutely love seeing her back in the WWE. That's where she belongs. But I don't think it's full time. I don't think it's full time. You're going to see Samantha Irving. Samantha Irving has way too much of a credibility right now. Her fan stocks are super high because she's phenomenal at her job. She does really, really well. Like she's able to call the match with her voice before the match even starts, introducing the guys. Like the more intense the match is, you can tell by her voice. It's just going to be something awesome, a spectacle, something to look forward to, something to tune into when she announces. So definitely, definitely love, Samantha Irving there. She announced Gunther, the ring general, against Kofi Kingston. Ultimately, this was a great match, kind of like the Xavier Woods match against Gunther, but ultimately Gunther comes out victorious. I feel like Gunther is a huge, huge, huge favorite going into this WWE King of the Ring like semifinals and the finals. So I love Gunther. I think he's a great champion. I think he's a great competitor. He held the Intercontinental Championship for, and I forbid I say this, 666 days, 666. I love Gunther. Ludwig Kaiser, I was kind of happy that he didn't really pay too much dividends inside the ring. This was a clean match, uh, you know, to an extent, of course, you know what I mean. Like it's WWE, but it was a clean match. It was a good match between Kofi trying to avenge his friend Xavier Woods and Gunther, and didn't really come up to par. Next, we have Liv Morgan and Lyra Valkyria in the backstage, and then it just got nasty. Where Liv called Lyra kind of the B word, and then Becky was behind her, and then she was like, maybe if Becky wasn't such a B word, like this would, and then she got punched, she got laid out by the WWE World Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. Liv Morgan right now, I feel like I'm not a hater for Liv. I really honestly don't hate Liv. Eric Rodriguez from the Wrestling Laureate podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. I don't hate Liv Morgan. I honestly don't. I just feel like her promos are just like they lack thereof. Like I feel like she's not yet there yet. And it's just kind of sad because I know she's been with the company for so long. For so long, from the Riot Squad with Ruby Riot, with Sarah Logan and stuff like that. But I just don't feel like she's ready to hold on to a championship. And I feel like the moment she kind of wins a championship, it might kind of seem a little kind of pandering to the crowd, or kind of just like pandering to all the naysayers saying that why don't they put a strap? All the people being like, hey, why don't you like Liv Morgan? Hey, Eric, why are you talking crap on Liv Morgan? I'm not talking crap on Liv Morgan. I like Liv Morgan. I like what she's about. But kind of like what's going on with Mercedes Moné and AEW. It's just the same promo. It's the same crap that's just spitting out over and over and over and over again. Like it's to the point where, you kind of want just something different. Like, you know what I mean? Like, of course, Rhea Ripley got injured. Rhea Ripley got injured. She was the champion. She had a forfeited championship. Who is a good champion that could represent the women's division well? And that's Becky Lynch. I feel like if they wanted to give it to Liv Morgan, they would have let Liv Morgan win that battle royal for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The fact that she didn't win it just seems that there's still kind of skepticism. There's still kind of maybe some naysayers behind the locker room or behind the scenes or in WWE creative that just feel like what. I don't think she's ready yet. And to be honest, I completely agree with it. It's not bad. I'm not saying that Liv Morgan sucks. I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve a future title shot. I'm just saying, like right now, it just doesn't seem. It doesn't seem ready. Doesn't seem ripe. It's kind of like biting into that apple that's not ripe yet, or that banana that's still green, and you're just like, what the heck? It's not ready yet. When it's ready, like a beautiful, delicious banana turns yellow, peel it, you just eat it. It's music. Delicious. It's beautiful. Hopefully that turns out to be the story level. Well, that's what that's just me. Okay, enough. Comparing WWE superstars to fruit. Of course, Roman Reigns is probably the biggest. Like, he's probably the biggest pineapple. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, moving on. Moving on. So next we have Kofi was after the match. He was confronted by Karrion Kross. Kind of makes me a little, kind of a little edgy. I really, honestly, don't hope that they're trying to like. Karrion Kross is known for kind of being that, kind of like that dark, that Final Testament kind of guy. I kind of hope, I wish that WWE or hope Paul Levesque doesn't have like the chance that Kofi Kingston might turn dark, might join these new guys exploring his dark side and stuff like that. I don't like it. I don't think it's good. Why they showed him backstage, it's going to be revealed pretty soon. Of course, next week. But ultimately, I really wouldn't want to see Kofi Kingston in any other role besides the New Day. They've been around for such a long time, and Big E just basically said that I don't think he's ever going to be cleared to wrestle again. So now you just have Woods and Kofi Kingston. Like, so why even try to break them up? Let's keep it them. Let's keep the New Day. Keep them in the tag team division. No breaking up tag teams in hopes that one of them's gonna be a good singles wrestler. And they're like, dude, that's not true. That's not true. Honestly, I feel like the more they're together, the better they are. And that's just science. That's just history. Look back in WWE history. The New Day, tag team champions, I believe seven times. Don't quote me on this, seven times tops or more. Then that let alone is impressive. So pretty awesome. Next we have Bronson Reed defeating Akira Tozawa. Chad Gable wasn't happy. Ultimately, I feel like he's this close of kicking Akira Tozawa out of the Alpha Academy. It's only going to be a matter of days. Next, we saw Zoe Stark against Lyra Valkyrie. Lyra Valkyrie ultimately picked up the win, the new hot star from WWE NXT Women's Division. I like that she won this match, but then again, now this just makes me wonder what they're going to do with Zoe Stark. You have Zoe and you have Shayna Baszler both lose in the quarterfinals in the Queen of the Ring tournament on Raw. So maybe perhaps they kind of strive toward the WWE World Tag Team, Women's Championship. Honestly, I'm kind of pondering on, which women's team could even just hold a candle, could even push these competitors like Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill to the limit. And honestly, I feel like Shayna Baszler's definitely one, and Zoe Stark, she's good. She's good. She was obviously mentored by Trish Stratus. They kind of had like a little, stint where Zoe Stark was kind of like Trish Stratus's like protege. Things didn't work out. Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus feuded, but ultimately, I think this is the right spot for Zoe Stark here. And I kind of wish that she does get a push. Kind of wish that it gets better for her. So yeah, moving on, we had Sami Zayn versus Otis. Otis, he was like right there. He was ready to win. And then freaking Chad Gable had to put his Alpha Academy nose into it, ultimately costing Otis the match. Otis wasn't happy. But what do you expect the poor guy to do? Like, and then he got slapped. He got that, the snot slapped out of him. Absolutely dreadful. Like, it was demeaning. It was disrespectful. It was just something that I and the fans were into it. They were backing up Otis, and kind of reminds me of like that Shawn Michaels and Diesel kind of storyline, where Shawn Michaels was treating Diesel kind of like shiitake mushrooms, and then you had the feud. You had the big guy, the big sensitive guy, turn against the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and then ultimately it put both of those superstars over. So maybe this might be quite of a bump for, Otis, but ultimately I feel like some good things are going to come out of this. Like I said before, I wasn't really a huge fan of Chad Gable going heel, but I'm taking it one day at a time. Give me a chance. And Sami Zayn saw this. Sami Zayn saw Chad Gable trying to bully Otis. He tried to come to Otis's aid. He did ultimately, but at the end of the day, Otis was slapped. Got the snot slapped out of him. Next, you saw Becky Lynch against Dakota Kai. Damage Control interfered, of course. Y'all didn't see that coming. So the match was a no decision. But Lyra Valkyrie came out and aided Becky, and once again, Liv Morgan sticks her nose in the business that doesn't really concern her. Honestly, I don't think Liv Morgan really deserves a title shot at this moment. But she's in portraying herself as definitely one of the best women's superstars in her division in the main card. And like I said before, I'm not buying it. Let's find out what happens in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, honestly, it should be interesting. So then you have the World Tag Team #1 contenders match, Finn Balor with JD McDonough, the Creed Brothers, New Catch Republic, and AOP. Ultimately, thanks to Carlito, the new inaugural, member of the Judgment Day, helped Finn Balor and JD McDonough win the #1 contendership for the Awesome Truth. So I don't know, it should be it's gonna be interesting, but Damien Priest at first didn't really seem happy. He kind of, accepted Carlito, and he was like, you know what you did out there was cool, man. I thought that was pretty cool. Like when I heard that, I was like, nice, nice. So, but anyways, last but not least, we have the main event: Jey Uso against Ilja Dragunov. Uso was able to pick up the victory once again. No interference, no BS. awesome. Definitely something that Paul Levesque is like kind of trademarking here, that he wants the matches to be clean and clean and clear ultimately is the best for what wrestling is. And that's just old school, old fashioned wrestling. Like back in the day, there wasn't like interference every match because during the Vince McMahon era, it came crazy to the point where every single match. Someone interfered, like, oh, what? Like, or someone attacked someone in the steel chair. Like, it was predictable and it was kind of annoying. But right now, the way they're kind of doing it is, I kind of think it fits. And so we have, Jimmy Uso. No, Jimmy Uso. We got Jey Uso defeating Ilja Dragunov. Kind of feel bad for Dragunov, but he shouldn't hang his head low at all. The former WWE NXT champion has such a bright future in the WWE main card. So honestly, I don't hate this loss. I don't hate this loss. I don't think this really destroys his credibility or demeans his worth in terms of WWE at all. So love that Jey Uso won. Main event, Jey Uso is moving on to fight Gunther in the semifinals. And for the Queen of the Ring, you have Lyra Valkyria against Io Sky in the semifinals. So, definitely something to look forward to. I'm looking forward to. It's going to be an electric Monday Night Raw next week. So, make sure you stay tuned and watch that. Next, we have our WWE NXT preview. We're gonna find out. NXT's a hot brand. NXT's a hot brand right now, especially in terms of the women's division. The NXT women's division is probably one of the best women's division in terms of professional wrestling. So let's go ahead and jump around into that. So hey, don't go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your boy E here with all your cool wrestling factoids, giving you guys some knowledge to think about heading into the midweek of the WWE, Ring of Honor, TNA, New Japan Wrestling, also the NWA. So, a lot of cool things that are going to happen. Just kind of reiterate what we talked about. We recently talked about our WWE Monday Night Raw review. It was a really good one, but we're going to move on to our WWE NXT preview. So let's go ahead and head on into it. So this week on WWE NXT, it's kind of building momentum toward Battleground. Really honestly love that. It's going to be an electric... it's going to be the first pay-per-view main event that's going to happen in terms of kind of like, you can see the TKO branding behind this in terms of UFC, because usually in this, in this stigma, in this arena, you usually have Saturday night, fight night with UFC, which is going to be pretty cool. Dana White is obviously super excited about this. It was reported that he's happy to have WWE back on the map. He's happy to have it with TKO because he was a huge fan. And he also stated that some UFC fighters would probably like to make a jump into WWE sometime. Wouldn't be against it. We have a lot of impressive UFC fighters out there. So, just would add, just stirs up the pot a little bit. More talent definitely brings, hot content, viewership, just ratings. Ratings is something that WWE or any professional wrestling are preying on. Like look what happened when WCW didn't get ratings. They went under. Look what happened to TNA when ratings went down after you lost AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, the Monster Abyss, and Sting. Like it just went under. It's just you're fighting for ratings here. You're fighting for attention. And honestly, I feel like WWE hosting this in Nevada, NXT Battleground, is the right decision. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So first we have a full match card here. We have the NXT Heritage Championship Cup, going to be defended against Charlie Dempsey, champion, against Tony D'Angelo, the Don, the Don. It's gonna be great. I feel like like I've kind of warmed up to new innovative ideas that wrestling matches kind of are nowadays. I love the Heritage Cup. You know, I think it's 5 or 6 rounds, 2 minute. Like I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's badass. Kind of emulates kind of how UFC fight goes on. Obviously, there's not much physicality. Well, there's a lot of physicality because WWE wrestlers put their lives on the line, put their bodies on the line. I'm not saying that UFC does not do that, but it's been reported and it's actually been analyzed. Kind of back this up that out of all the combat sports, WWE is probably one of the biggest ones in terms of physicality, in terms of wrestlers and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. So you have Charlie Dempsey against Tony D'Angelo. My pick, I feel like Tony D'Angelo is going to win it because you kind of have this lingering thing amongst the No Quarter Catch crew, and then you have the D'Angelo family. Obviously, the No Quarter Catch crew owes the family a favor. They owe the family backed them up. So far, they have not paid it. The No Quarter Catch crew is screwed. I feel like Tony D'Angelo wins this. I really honestly hope he wins this. I think that'd be pretty cool. Next, we have the NXT Women's North American Championship qualifying match between Sol Ruca and Izzi Dame. Both of these competitors are very, very phenomenal, but like I said before, I don't know why, but I feel like Sol Ruca, she has so much. She has some, not talking crap. I'm not trying to diminish any Izzi Dame, qualifications or her, physical capabilities. But I feel like Sol Ruca, she's just perfect to have the strap on. She's perfect to be a champion. She's absolutely ready to hold, whatever NXT women's division kind of throws on her back. So definitely think Sol Ruca is going to take she's going to pick up the victory tonight, head into that ladder match at WWE NXT Battleground. So looking forward to that. Can't wait to watch it. It's live right now. It's live right now. Next, we have another North American Women's Championship qualifying match. We have Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile making a jump from WWE Raw against Lash Legend. I think Lash Legend, I I think she's good. I think she's good. Obviously, she was a former WNBA player, so I thought that was pretty dope. But you kind of see Ivy Nile on the Monday Night Raw roster. You see her on TV, and it's just like she's kind of floating around. She's helping Maxine Dupree. She's kind of waiting for a purpose. She's waiting for a purpose. So honestly, in my opinion, I feel like it would be smart to have Ivy Nile win this match against Lash Legend. They kind of keep Lash Legend in that metaphor storyline in terms of what's happening with Trick Williams and Noam Dar. So I think it's perfect. I pick Ivy Nile to win this match. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Next, speaking of Noam Dar, we have our singles match where we have Javon Evans. Super young, super talented. Definitely the future of WWE NXT. Man, this guy's hot. This guy's fresh off the presses. He's impressive. He puts on good matches. He's gonna be somebody. Definitely future WWE NXT champion. Right there, you have him against Noam Dar. Noam Dar is going against Trick Williams, heading into Battleground. I can see Noam Dar kind of picking up this victory, building momentum, having the fans and having the audience, kind of get worried that Trick Williams might his championship reign might end a little prematurely than he originally, accepted or willing, wanted it to be. But I think Noam Dar, he's despite his size, he's a good competitor. Even when he fights bigger guys, like he's able to work to that advantage where he knocks down the leg or hits him low and stuff like that. Like Noam Dar is probably one of the best tactical superstars that you can put him in the ring with anybody. You can put him in the ring with the Big Show, Andre the Giant, the Great Khali, and he's gonna make something out of it. He's definitely gonna make something out of it. So definitely respect Noam Dar in terms of that. And lastly, we have our tag team match between Edris Enofe and Malik Blade against OTM, Brock Nima, and Lucien Price. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Both young tag teams ready to, cement their name in the tag team division in terms of WWE NXT. Who's going to do it tonight? I'm not too sure. Is it going to be a great match? Absolutely. Tune in tonight in WWE NXT on the USA Network, happening right now. Put it on a side TV and keep the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast playing in the corner on your phone, tablet, laptop, whatever. Just keep me involved. Love being a part of the WWE spectrum. So, yeah. So that was my WWE NXT preview. Next, we're going to jump into the Ultimate King of the Ring, where last Friday I introduced the superstars, both legendary, both new, broke them up into new wrestlers and old wrestlers. So we're going to have two generations come at each other in the finals. Going to be interesting to find out who is the ultimate, who was the best King of the Ring that ever stepped foot in the Squared Circle, in the World Wrestling Federation, the World Wrestling Entertainment in terms of, history. So, hey, stay tuned.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. I'm your host, Eric, here with Are You Cool Wrestling Factoids, Easy they call me. I'm just kidding, no. But, yeah, so let's go ahead and reiterate what we talked about real quick. We talked about our WWE SmackDown review. We talked about our WWE NXT preview. So, let's go ahead and move forward with this Ultimate King of the Ring tournament because I'm super excited to talk about it. Hope you guys are ready with me. Absolutely going to be electric. Want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMC podcast.net. Tell me what you like. Tell me who you think is the best King of the Ring that has ever stepped foot in the Squared Circle. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on into it. Like I said, so we have our bracket one. We have bracket one. Let's go ahead and go on into it. First, we have Xavier Woods. Love Xavier Woods. Definitely think he was one of the best to ever do it in terms of the King of the Ring. Going to go ahead and write this down. We have King Woods. King Woods. He played it really well, honestly, and kind of like, going toward like an HBO kind of feel. Like I feel like he was able to kind of, introduce that CrossFit between WWE and, Game of Thrones, where he was throwing a lot of Game of Thrones references. He was talking like he was definitely one of the Lannisters or one of the Starks or one of the Targaryens, like, whichever house you root for. I'm House Stark personally, but I feel like he did a really good job doing that. And I love King Woods in this moment. So, bracket one starting off pretty hot. King Woods against Baron Corbin. King Woods against Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin recently has been doing better than he did when he was the King of the Ring. He obviously was King Corbin. He was pretty dominant. Oh man, it's going to be pretty hard. I think the overall better wrestler is probably Xavier Woods, but in terms of dominance and in terms of physical abuse, I feel like Baron Corbin easily wins this match. But you guys watch the King of the Ring matchups. It's not just about someone's strong suits. It can be, you can exploit those and you can turn them into weaknesses. Like Xavier Woods isn't strong enough to hang with Baron Corbin, yes. But is Baron Corbin strong enough to hang with the agile, the stamina, the endurance, and the speed of Xavier Woods? And honestly, I feel like out of this match, I'm not trying to hate on Baron Corbin and where he kind of comes from, but honestly, I kind of feel like I feel like I'm gonna pick King Woods. I think King Woods is gonna come out the victory here. I love Xavier Woods, the way he was able to do what he did when he was the King of the Ring. Love King Woods. Love the New Day. So he, my man deserves it. So, good for him. All right, our next match, we have Wade Barrett. We have Bad News Barrett. We have Wade, obviously the leader of the, the Nexus, feuded with John Cena, former Intercontinental Champion. I think he was the United States Champion. I think it was part of the, I think there was like the United Kingdom or something like that. But he was good. He was good. Obviously, he's an announcer now, but should be pretty interesting to see who he's going to fight against Sheamus. Wow, what a surprise! Talking about the the United Kingdom, like, and then we have my man Sheamus here. Sheamus is still wrestling. He's still kicking. He's obviously been the WWE champion, world heavyweight, United States. Sheamus has kind of done it all here, and he's kind of trying to get back into it with the neck injury and stuff like that. So, man, this is kind of tough. It's kind of tough because we have Wade Barrett, we have Sheamus, Wade Barrett, Sheamus. Oh, man, who's going to win? Who's going to win? I think I'm going to pick Sheamus. Sheamus, the Celtic Warrior, is going to move on in this bracket. I love the way they've done with his character this whole time. He's good as a babyface. He's good as a heel. Honestly, Sheamus he's versatile. He's definitely versatile, and that's what WWE loves him. Absolutely love that. Love Sheamus. Congratulations. We have William Regal. William Regal, power of the punch, Mr. Brass Knucks himself. Something that Logan Paul has definitely kind of emulated within his matchups. But William Regal was very impressive. Very impressive when he came into the WWE. He kind of fell off, and he left WWE ultimately, like due to I think they're like with a little bit of substance abuse or just some kind of problems. But he ultimately came back, and now he's working the WWE NXT. So definitely love William Regal. But then we have King Booker. Oh man, we have Booker. Oh man, not trying to hit on Regal here, but I think my mind has already been made up. Booker T will move on to the second round of the Ultimate King of the Ring match. And I'm not trying to hit him with William Regal, but you guys have to realize where Booker T came from. He came from WCW. In a time where WWE Invasion was happening in 2002, WCW superstars were being treated like shit, absolute garbage. And Booker T was the only one to kind of, he hung in there. He took all the BS. He took all the downpour from WWE superstars. Vince McMahon. Oh man, Booker T is definitely one of the best WWE superstars of all time. And two reasons why. Two reasons why. Because one, because he's just amazing. And two, he came from a company that had an X on their chest. Vince McMahon wanted to make a mockery of everybody that came from the WCW roster. And out came Booker T. Booker T, five-time WCW champion, world heavyweight champion. He's King of the Ring winner. Love Booker T. Deserves it all. Definitely going to be one of the favorites heading toward the finals. But yeah, let's go and finish off our bracket number one. Oh no, we have Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, the Beast incarnate. During his young years, he did very, very well. He was definitely one of the, I don't think it was necessary, kind of like a fan favorite, so to speak, but he was a monster. Definitely one of, definitely. And of course, you see him later in WWE years where, like, when you hear that music hit, everyone's like, oh no. And everyone's like, okay, great. Someone's going to get their ass kicked right now. No, it's just like whenever Brock Lesnar is in any type of promo, any storyline, like he becomes the favorite. He becomes the favorite. Like the WWE has it's been speculated, it's been reported, so to speak, that The Rock will fight Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41. Imagine they're going face to face and the Brock Lesnar's music hits. Automatically, you have to admit, you're like, oh shit, Brock's going to win the championship. Like, that's how much of an effect this man has. That's how much his presence, his physicality, his tactical wrestling inside the ring. He works submissions. He's a powerhouse. He's the Swiss Army knife of WWE. So it's going to be interesting to see who he's going up against. And it is, oh God. Oh God, this is the worst. Oh God, Edge. We have Brock Lesnar against Edge to determine who's the best King of the Ring winner. Bracket 1. Edge is so successful. Coming from the WWE tag team, definitely one of the best tag teams to put the division on the map with the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, WrestleMania 2000 and that ladder match, tables, ladders, and chairs. It was just so awesome. Legend. He's already a Hall of Famer. Oh, God. This is so hard. He's King of the Ring. Man, the rated R superstar making it hard right now. Making it hard. Adam Copeland, he's killing it in AEW too, showing that when talent leaves, talent ultimately racks up the gold. And so far, he's the TNT champion. Oh God, why does this have to be so hard? I'm gonna take a minute, guys. I might take I might take an unorthodox break here. This is pretty hard. This is pretty hard to determine the winner between Edge, the winner between Brock Lesnar, because focus other than focusing on the positive parts. Brock Lesnar, love him to death, but he was a part-time champion. He wasn't competing every week. He wasn't really cutting. He cut good promos, but of course, because he had Paul Heyman. He had Paul Heyman to cut his promos for him. Edge, he came out, rated R superstar. He did it all himself. He got people behind him. He got people to hate him. Oh, God, it's... Whew. And then once again, I'm thinking like, okay, who had the most success after the King of the Ring championship win? You saw Edge propel himself into singles competitor. Like, it took a little while for Edge to do it, and Brock Lesnar has always been so dominant. He's always been so, dominant. Oh God, it's gonna be hard. And I know people might hate me, but I'm gonna stick with the winner is going to be. I'm picking Edge. I'm picking Edge, and it's just all around wrestling, all around career wise. Edge really, he was that kind of that transition. He was that transition that when you needed a champion, when you needed a heel, he was always there. He was always there to play into the storyline, story plots, or whatever. And Vince McMahon could always count on Edge. So I love Edge. Edge beats the Beast Incarnate, the reigning, defending, old, undisputed champion, Brock Lesnar. So, hey, bravo to Edge. Love Edge. Definitely thinks he deserves it. Pretty cool. Pretty darn cool. And, so that was our bracket 1 of the Ultimate King of the Ring. Don't go anywhere because next we have our bracket 2 of the Ultimate King of the Ring. We're going to talk about this time. We're kind of going a little old school here. So, hey, don't go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about. We talked about our WWE Monday Night Raw review. We talked about our WWE NXT preview. We also talked about our bracket 1 of the Ultimate King of the Ring. I'm trying to find out who in the history of King of the Ring winners ultimately deserves to wear the crown as the Ultimate King of the Ring. So, let's go and move on to our, we have our bracket 2 lined up. Obviously, it was a really hard match, but Edge was able to, kind of fend off the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. So, let's go and jump on into our next one. So, starting out, we have the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. We have Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle has had an amazing career. He's been absolutely awesome, dominant. One of those superstars that you can kind of, you build the company around. And that's what Vince McMahon did. You saw him feuding with Triple H, Chris Jericho, The Rock, Kurt Angle. I think he was even with Stone Cold Steve Austin. He came out and he hosed everybody with milk. Kurt Angle was definitely, even though his accolades might not line up to, how much he was actually worth. This guy's an Olympic gold medalist. He's one of the best wrestlers in terms of just kicking ass, kicking ass. This guy, whenever this guy stepped into the ring, you paid attention because this guy ultimately carried his opponents, even though WWE's, scripted and stuff like that, choreographed. Kurt Angle was definitely one, like, he kind of reminded me of Bret Hart. The excellence of execution, protecting his opponents because he knew what it felt like. He wrestled with a broken freaking neck. The three eyes, intelligence, integrity, and intensity. That was Kurt Angle. That was absolutely what he was all about. Who's he gonna fight? Who's he against? Okay, Billy Gunn. Not too hard, and I'm not trying to dog on Billy Gunn here, daddy ass of AEW. But I'm sorry, Billy Gunn. WWE Tag Team Championships do not hold enough accolades, do not hold enough prestigious value to go against Kurt Angle. So the winner of this match is going to be Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle moving on to round two. Awesome. Definitely awesome. Of course, if you guys disagree, hit up the tips or donations link in the GSMCpodcast.net and we can talk about it. So, yeah. All right, we have our next match. We have Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock definitely kind of, opening up the gates from, MMA to kind of head into WWF now WWE. So, I love Ken Shamrock, his intensity, always a good guy, always a good promo. He was a great promoter. His storylines were dynamite. And I think that was kind of like the UFC, kind of being a badge of honor, hidden in his back pocket. There's like, you know what? I might not be the best technical wrestler. I might not get this whole choreo, thing that WWE does, but I can bet your ass that I can have those butts in the seats. I can have people on the edge of your seats thinking that I'm literally going to go out there and I'm going to kill this guy. That's something that Ken Shamrock did really, really well. I grew up watching him. Loved Ken Shamrock. Absolutely, he was a dog, man. He had that dog in it. Oh God, why did it have to be this guy? Oh, I did all this to talk up Ken Shamrock, Paul Levesque, Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Oh my God, he won the King of the Ring, and basically all his history, all his history after that. Multiple time WWE champion, multiple time World Heavyweight champion, won the tag team titles, Intercontinental champion. This guy is just, he has success written all over him. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's because he married Stephanie. Dude, that's bullspit. That's not true. This guy was a good wrestler. This wasn't Triple H has paid his dues way before he got with Stephanie. Like, I'm not sure it helped a little bit. I'm just kidding. No, but I feel like his capabilities inside of the ring, the way he was able to kind of help wrestlers kind of achieve more than they, went out there to kind of set for, because, usually you get the nod and you're like, hey, guess what? You're going to go out there and you're going to lose Triple H in a match. That's what's happening behind the curtain. And Triple H is like, you know what? What can I do for you? You're going to lose, but what can I do for you? Let's make you look good. Let's make you look good in front of Vince. Let's make you look good in front of WWE creative or officials, just so maybe you can get a future push. And that's something that Triple H did. So definitely something admirable about Triple H that a lot of you guys probably did not know. Obviously, the winner between the most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, is right now Triple H. Triple H is going to move on to the second round. Super hard decision, but kind of have to, I had to go with the facts on this one. All right, next we have Stone Cold Steve Austin. Texas Rattlesnake, Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin is definitely one of the best heel wrestlers of all time. He had his feud with Vince McMahon, but it was to the point where like you kind of had that heel shift into something that became a babyface. Because at first you're like, who the hell is this guy? Why the F is this guy, throwing beer cans at Vince McMahon? Who does he think he is? And then Stone Cold Steve Austin, the way he is, his personality, the way he's so like vocal on the mic, you just couldn't help but to fall in love with the Texas Rattlesnake. So it's gonna be hard to beat this guy. Who's going to beat him? Oh, Mabel. My boy Mabel, Viscera. The world's largest love machine, Viscera. Big Daddy V. Rest in peace, love Mabel. But guys, come on, let's be real here. Let's be real. The winner of this match is, I don't even have to really go far into it. Mabel had a little bit of accomplishments, but I know Big Daddy V won the ECW World Championship before his untimely passing. My thoughts and prayers go out to his family. Mabel's definitely a huge WWE legend. But honestly, the winner of this match is going to be Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin moves on to the second round, defeating Mabel for the Ultimate King of the Ring. And to kind of end bracket 2 here, we're kind of running short of time here. We have Owen Hart. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Owen Hart, my man. Definitely one of the best technical wrestlers that ever lived. Of course, he beat his brother, but he was always he kind of fell short to Bret's accomplishments. Bret obviously accomplished a little more than Owen Hart did. But love Owen Hart. Once again, he went too soon. Absolutely, he passed too soon. My thoughts and prayers with his family. Hope, everything's well and stuff like that. Just know that your dad was a badass. Definitely left his mark. Definitely cemented his legacy in terms of WWE. So who's his opponent? Oh my God, that's so weird. I didn't even mean to do this. I should have put Owen Hart against Mabel so we can at least make it. No, you don't want that pity second round pat. I'm just kidding. No. We have Bret Hart. Bret Hart, probably the best technical wrestler in terms of the WWE. I think he still holds the most wins in WWF/WWE history. A way to fight fire with fire. Owen Hart against his brother. Oh, these guys have had hellacious battles inside the ring. And to be honest, I'm happy I witnessed one of those live, but not live, like I wasn't there. I watched it on pay-per-view. But oh man, this is Bret Hart. Love Bret Hart, love Owen Hart, but oh God, it's a hard decision. Love Bret Hart, sharpshooter, submission magician. Oh God, I just feel so bad doing this, but guys, come on, I'm gonna have to say Bret Hart's gonna win this one. I love Bret Hart, I love Owen Hart too, but ultimately, you can't always get what you want. I'm just kidding, no. But no, so Bret Hart is definitely one of the best WWE superstars of all time. So that was the end of my bracket number 2. Looking forward to round 2. Don't miss it. We have our Ultimate King of the Ring that we will crown before WWE Saudi Arabia. So so in our next round we have King Woods against Sheamus, and we have Booker T against Edge. We have Kurt Angle against Triple H. It's kind of funny how they ended up fighting each other after the whole Stephanie McMahon thing. Kurt Angle made out with his wife. So I think Kurt Angle, no matter what happens between this matchup, he gets the win. I'm just kidding. No. Stone Cold Steve Austin against Bret Hart. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be absolutely dope to talk about in our next podcast. So make sure you stay tuned for the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast every night at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. in Eastern Time. Just kind of hit on, real quick. We were quickly running out of time. I'm so sorry. We have our Tuesdays today in wrestling history. So, hey, don't go anywhere. all right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric, here. Just to kind of reiterate what we talked about. First segment, we talked about our WWE Monday Night Raw review. We talked about WWE NXT preview. And the segment 3 and 4, we talked about we're trying to crown the ultimate King of the Ring winner in terms of historical facts, in terms of how their career ended up, and just, how great they were in terms of cementing their legacy in terms of WWE. So, all right. And to kind of finish off the show here, segment 5, we're going to go ahead and talk about our Tuesdays today in wrestling history. So, let's go ahead and dig on into it, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, we're going to start off with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Today in WWE, history, in 2021, on a live edition of WWE SmackDown in the Thunderdome in Tampa Bay, Florida, a new women's tag team champions were crowned as Natalya and Tamina defeated Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Kind of crazy. I love this photo because both of these champions were absolutely dominant, but they couldn't do what it took to hold on to the championship. So if you're looking at this photo right now and you're like, hey man, did this guy get this wrong? Did this guy read it the other way around that Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler won on this match? You betcha. I'm just kidding. No. Definitely kind of crazy how this kind of winded up. But, my bad. I kind of read it wrong, you know what I mean? But Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler lose it to Natalya and Tamina. Too bad, so sad. Can't wait to put a picture of them up on, on this. We'll give them a tribute next week. All right, guys. So don't, get off my ass. I had finals today. How dare you? You know what? I'm going. I'm taking my licorice. I'm taking my WWE championship home. I'm just kidding. No. Just okay. So in 1998, ECW presented at an event titled "Ain't Seinfeld" from the Elks Lodge in Queens, New York. So Taz ultimately came in introducing the FTW Championship, stating that it's like a self-proclaimed championship, which is crazy because his son held this championship for such a long time in AEW until he was dethroned in AEW Dynasty against Chris Jericho. Kind of holds a little more, kind of a little more prestige to that. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, Taz came out proclaiming himself as the FTW champion. Honestly, hey, good for Taz. Like, screw it. Like, why not? So today in WWE in wrestling history, we had at ECW Hardcore Heaven from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Justin Credible retained the ECW World Heavyweight Championship against former Impact player partner Lance Storm in the main event. This was Storm's last ECW match before he left the ECW. Rhino also retained his ECW World TV Championship against the Sandman, and we also had Jerry Lynn pinned Rob Van Dam, Kid Cash, defeating CW Anderson. Yashiruri Tajiri beat Steve Carino, and just it was a good match. It was a good pay-per-view. Loved DCW. Well, for what I've gotten to taste. I remember my family had a subscription to magazines, and we would get Raw, SmackDown, and EC. No. I don't think the brand split was happening at that time. So I think we would get one WWF, and I think we'd get oh man, what's that? What's that wrestling magazine? It's gonna bother me all night. I'll figure it out and I'll let you guys know. But ultimately, it was a good match. ECW was at this point kind of on its last limb. Kind of, in 2000, you kind of knew that it was, times were kind of ending. Paul Heyman ultimately said in an interview that although ECW went under, you can bet your ass that or what did he say? You can suck my. No, but he's pretty strong about how ECW was. Love that about Paul Heyman. Love that he didn't let down his guys. Still to this day, he thinks ECW is the best wrestling promotion in the professional wrestling industry. So, good for Paul Heyman. Good for Paul Heyman. So, next we have, in 2005 in the main event at Ring of Honor, Nowhere to Run. From Chicago, Illinois, we had CM Punk defeating Jimmy Rave to end their feud in a steel cage match. Also, Austin Aries retained the Ring of Honor World Championship against Bryan Danielson. Matt Sydal defeated Ace Steel. Matt Striker and the Masked Green Bay Superstar defeated Colt Cabana. Homicide picked up a victory against Doug Williams. And it was actually, we had Roderick Strong and Jack Evans beat Alex Shelley and Delirious in the tag team match. So that, that was pretty 2005. That's crazy. Like you hear all these WWE stars from WWE NXT. Now they're kind of moving toward like more of an AEW kind of sector, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, that makes you think. Honestly, that definitely makes me think that you hear all these names and you're like, you know what? These are guys that weren't afraid to kind of go to AEW. They weren't afraid to go to Ring of Honor. They weren't afraid to go to New Japan Professional Wrestling. And just makes you think that WWE has nothing but homegrown stars. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying that's bad. I think it's a good thing ultimately for their success. But I don't know. You kind of notice that right now. I think that's, kind of crazy how, you're not afraid to kind of dip into something that's ambiguous because you've kind of been in that industry before, like CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Rhino. You saw Roderick Strong. These guys weren't afraid to go to AEW once when WWE was kind of turning to crap with Vince McMahon kind of on the helm there. So yeah, and lastly, Christian Cage retained the WNBA the NWA World Heavyweight title against the Monster Abyss in a steel cage match and a Full Metal Mayhem match in the main event at TNA Sacrifice in Orlando. So once again, this was kind of like when Christian Cage left the WWE, left the WWF, seeking more like as a singles competitor. They were pushing Edge at the moment, so I think Edge's contract was renewed. Christian's wasn't. So he came out with the TNA, made a name for himself, and he did really, really good. So definitely proud of Christian. Definitely love the way that kind of all ended up. So yeah, you honestly can't help but to respect. Sometimes, although some of these wrestling superstars take a break from WWE, or they try to find success elsewhere. Like right now, you kind of have Christian Cage against Swerve Strickland in this match at Double or Nothing. And it's going to be a great match. It's going to be a great match. These superstars have been all over the world. Definitely love it. Honestly, if they're still on WWE, they're probably still getting those bad bookings, those shit talky mushroom matches that you're kind of looking at and you're like, these guys kind of deserve better. So ultimately, sometimes you got to pick up your balls and leave, man. I'm sorry. It's for the best. Absolutely for the best. You're kind of doing some really great things here in terms of, AEW. So, happy for Christian Cage. Loved him with Edge and Christian, but ultimately sometimes things don't just pan out. So yeah, guys, hope you guys really honestly like my show. Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show and leave a positive review here at the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast and the GSMC Sports Network. We love peace, love, and positivity all the way, and it really does make a difference, guys. It really does make a difference. We need you guys, our audience. You're part of our family too. You guys are absolutely killing it. I love seeing the numbers on YouTube. I love seeing the numbers on our multiple, audio streaming server. Like, thank you guys so much. From the bottom of my heart, from the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, I want to thank you guys. Absolutely. Hope you're having a good midweek. Definitely. We also invite you guys to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. And like I said before, if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, we have NBA heating up with Nelson. Football's always hot with Kenneth. I have breaking news that Tom Brady is going to return to the New England Patriots and play for a season in the next upcoming NFL season. I'm just kidding. But those are the headlines you can hear. Those are the headlines you can hear on Kenneth's podcast. So make sure you tune into that football podcast. Get all the cool factoids. Be up to date with all your football stuff. We have Hoops and Heels, all things, your one-stop shop for women's sports with Samantha. We have the Andrew Tate Show. We also have sports with Jeremy. We also have TJ. We have Manny. It just goes on and on and on, guys. Like, be a part of our GSMC sports, bloodline, and we can absolutely kill it together. So, gotta bid you adieu. But stay tuned. Watch me tomorrow. I'll be on the same time, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to stay up, if you just gotta, just got done hanging out with some bros. And it's 11 o'clock, and you're like, oh man, I'm looking for something to watch while I'm trouncing this Del Taco or McDonald's, just gonna, no, and you'd be like, turn on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. Who knows? I might make you the best wrestling fan in the world. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding, because I'm that damn good. I'm the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Bret Hart. If you guys didn't understand that reference, y'all should get out of here. I'm just kidding. No. So thank you once again for tuning into my show, and hey, have a phenomenal night. Sleep well.
You ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to Let's go.